Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, and I am here to go over the 11-game slate in MLB tonight. If you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Send us a DM and let us know you're interested in the MLB special. You will get the rest of the month of April for just $19. So we hope to see you soon. Like I said, send us a DM on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Say, hey, I'm interested in the MLB special, and we will get you in our Discord. Our Discord is a very family-friendly, very encouraging, positive, no toxicity allowed type environment. And I think you guys will really like it if you haven't joined us before. If you have, we would love to have you back. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on the 11-game slate today in MLB. Starting with the first game at 7:05 p.m. Eastern, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the New York Yankees. You have Matt Strahm for the Phillies and Domingo Germán for the Yankees. The Yankees are minus 155 on the money line. It's an 8.5 implied run total with 61-degree temperatures, 6-mile-an-hour winds blowing right to left. We have projected lineups for the Phillies: Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, Derek Hall, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm, Jake Cave, and Brandon Marsh. For the Yankees, you have DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres, Oswaldo Cabrera, Aaron Hicks, Jose Trevino, and Anthony Volpe. For the next game is at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Washington Nationals. Josh Fleming against Chad Kuhl. Tampa Bay is minus 170 favorite on the money line. It has a 9 implied run total. The wind is 7 miles an hour blowing out, and it's 76 warm degrees, so you can expect some good scoring in this game. You've got for the Rays, Yandy Diaz, Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena, Brandon Lau, Harold Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Isaac Paredes, Jose Siri, and Christian Betancourt. Projected lineup for the Nationals: Lane Thomas, Joey Meneses, Heimer Candelario, Dominic Smith, Keibert Ruiz, Alex Call, Luis Garcia, Victor Robles, and CJ Abrams. 7:10 p.m. Eastern, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. Roansy Contreras against Nick Pivetta. We have Boston as a minus 150 favorite, and it's a 9 implied run total. It's a little bit cooler. It's 49 degrees. But as you know, if you've been watching baseball this year, the scores in Boston have been up, and I would expect that trend to continue all year long, especially with the new rules with the pitch clock and stuff like that. Seems like scoring is up in general, especially for early in the year. Outside of opening day. Opening day was kind of slow, but scoring has definitely picked up since then. So for the projected lineup, we have for the Pirates, O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, Carlos Santana, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Kanan Smith-Njigba, Jack Sawinski, Ji-Hwan Bae, and Austin Hedges. And then the Red Sox, their lineup has been confirmed: Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers, Justin Turner, Madasaki Yoshida, Adam Duvall, Tristan Casas, Kiki Hernandez, Reese McGuire, and Yu Chang. 7:40 p.m. Eastern, the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Royals in Kansas City. Yusei Kikuchi against Chris Bubich. We have Toronto as a minus 170 on the money line. 10 implied run total. 76 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing right to left. We have a projected lineup for Toronto: George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk, Matt Chapman, Danny Jansen, Dalton Varsho, Whit Merrifield, and Kevin Kiermaier. For the Royals, their lineup is confirmed: Bobby Witt, Edward Olivares, Salvador Perez, Franmil Reyes, Matt Duffy, Hunter Dozier, Jackie Bradley Jr., Nate Eaton, and Nicky Lopez. Next game, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, the New York Mets taking on my Milwaukee Brewers. Max Scherzer against Wade Miley. Miley's back for the Brewers, so this will be interesting. Tough matchup. I would expect the Mets to score quite a few runs tonight, so it could be a long night for Wade Miley. And with Scherzer on the mound, it could be a long night for the Brewers bats too. So I'm prepared to take an L tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong. All right, so the Mets are minus 150 on the money line, 8 over under. For the Mets, their projected lineup is Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Mark Canha, Tommy Pham, Jeff McNeil, Eduardo Escobar, and Tomas Nido. For the Brewers, projected lineup: Christian Yelich, Jesse Winker, Willie Adames, William Contreras, Garrett Mitchell, Brian Anderson, Bryce Terang, and Joey Wiemer. Next game at 7:45 p.m. Eastern, the Atlanta Braves at the St. Louis Cardinals. Dylan Dodd taking on Steven Matz. We have St. Louis at minus 135 favorite, over under of 10 implied runs. So the same as the Toronto-Kansas City game. I believe this is the highest scoring projected games on the slate. Yeah, it is. This one and that other one, Toronto-Kansas City. So for the weather, you've got 78-degree temperatures, so the warmest temperatures on the slate. 19-mile-an-hour winds blowing right to left. We have a projected lineup for Atlanta: Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Travis d'Arnaud, Marcell Ozuna, Michael Harris, Sean Murphy, and Orlando Arcia. For the Cardinals, Tommy Edman, Tyler O'Neill, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Jordan Walker, Juan Yepes, Brendan Donovan, and Dylan Carlson. Next game is at Baltimore at Texas. We have Kyle Gibson against Andrew Heaney. Texas is minus 135 favorite, over under implied total of 8.5. For the Orioles, you have Cedric Mullins, Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle, Anthony Santander, Austin Hayes, Ramon Urias, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan McKenna, Jorge Mateo. For the Rangers, projected lineup: Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Nate Lau, or Lowe. I always get him and Brandon Lau confused. I think it's Lowe. Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, Robbie Grossman, Jonah Heim, Brad Miller, and Bubba Thompson. All right, let me go ahead and take a look at the chat because I haven't done that yet. DePrince, how's it going, man? Glad you made it. Doug, how's it going? Hope you guys had some nice wins last night. The Fanduel lineup was very solid, so hopefully you guys got to play that. Next game we have at 8:10 p.m. Eastern, the Detroit Tigers taking on the Houston Astros. Matt Manning against Framber Valdez. Houston is minus 285. They're expecting them to bounce back in a big way after they got upset last night against Detroit in extra innings. So Houston's minus 285 on the money line, 7.5 implied run total. You have for the Tigers, their projected lineup is Matt Vierling, Javier Baez, Riley Green, Eric Haas, Spencer Torkelson, Austin Meadows, Miguel Cabrera, Jonathan Scope, and Ryan Kreidler. And then we have for the Astros, Jeremy Pena, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, Jose Abreu, Kyle Tucker, David Hensley, Chas McCormick, Mauricio Dubon, and Martin Maldonado. Next game is at 9:40 p.m. Eastern. The Cleveland Guardians taking on the Oakland Athletics. Shane Bieber against J.P. Sears. Cleveland is minus 180 on the money line. It has a 7 implied run total, 53 degrees, 13-mile-an-hour winds. Projected lineup for the Guardians: Quan, Rosario, Ramirez, Josh Bell, Josh Naylor, Oscar Gonzalez, Andre Jimenez, Mike Zunino, and Miles Straw. And then for the Athletics, you have Tony Kemp, Jace Peterson, Ramon Laureano, Seth Brown, Aledmus Diaz, Jesus Aguiar, Shea Langoliers, Connor Capel, and Esteury Ruiz. Next game at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Seattle Mariners. Jose Suarez against Luis Castillo. Seattle is minus 170 on the money line, over under of 7.5 implied runs. We have for the Angels, their projected lineup is Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Hunter Renfroe, Jake Lamb, Brandon Drury, Gio Urshela, Luis Rengifo, and Logan O'Hoppe. And then for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez, Ty France, Eugenio Suarez, Teoscar Hernandez, AJ Pollock, Kyle Riley, JP Crawford, Colton Wong, and Sammy Haggerty. Then we have at 10:10 p.m. Eastern, last game of the night, the Rockies taking on the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium in LA. We have LA is minus 260, one of the heavier favorites on the slate. It's a 58-degree temperatures with wind blowing out at 6 miles an hour, 7.5 implied run total. German Marquez against Julio Urias. The projected lineup for the Rockies: Jonathan Daza, Chris Bryant, Charlie Blackmon, CJ Cron, Elias Diaz, Jurickson Profar, Elhuris Montero, Alan Trejo, and Ezekiel Tovar. And then we have for the Dodgers, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, JD Martinez, David Peralta, Miguel Vargas, James Outman, and Miguel Rojas. So that is the 11-game slate overview. Favorite pay-up pitcher tonight is going to be Shane Bieber. He's 10-5 on DraftKings, $11,000 on Fanduel, $56 on Yahoo. He did face Oakland on April 30th of last year. He pitched 7 innings, had 7 strikeouts. He allowed 1 run for 43 fantasy points. Oakland scored the second fewest runs per game last year at 3.51. They were in the bottom 10 for strikeout rate as well. They did score 10 runs last night. I expect a ton of regression from them. They're typically been a low-scoring team over the last several years, so I would think they would have a low score that they put up tonight. So it should bode well for Shane Bieber, hopefully. And then Framber Valdez, he's 9,900 on DraftKings, 9,800 on FanDuel, $51 on Yahoo. Going up against the Tigers, he faced them on September 12th last year, and he had a complete game shutout. He had 8 strikeouts for 61 fantasy points. So really good matchup here for Valdez. The Tigers had the 4th highest strikeout rate last year. They have the 4th highest this year so far. So Valdez is a really good spot as well. My fade is Steven Matz against the Braves. The Braves have been red hot. I don't see that, changing at all today, especially with the warm weather and everything. I think it's a really tough spot for Matz. So Steven Matz is definitely a fade pitcher for me. My BVP play of the day is going to be David Peralta. He's 3,700 on DraftKings, 2,400 on FanDuel, and $9 on Yahoo. He's hit 327 against German Marquez. The main thing with him, though, is that he's seen him 49 times. He's had 49 at-bats, 16 hits, 9 singles, 5 doubles, and 2 home runs. So when you've seen a pitcher that much, you really feel like you have a good feel for what they're going to throw at you, and usually results in a good day for the batter. So I think it's a good spot for David Peralta. No one's probably going to play him. He hasn't been putting up big numbers, but he could give you some good value tonight. Stacks, I like the Red Sox. I like the Orioles against Andrew Heaney. I also like the Dodgers against German Marquez, going along with David Peralta. My sleeper stack will be for the members only. Like usual, my home run call that I'm going to give out, I'll have one for the members too. This one is for everybody. It's Ryan Mountcastle. He's 2 for 2 with a double and a home run against Andrew Heaney. Small sample size, but he's been really good against lefties. Already hit a home run or 2 against lefties this year, so I like him here in this spot against Heaney. Has 2 extra base hits against him, like I said, a double and a home run, so it's a good spot for Mountcastle. He's going to be one of my top plays tonight. I also like on Prizepicks, Yordan Alvarez, more than 1.5 total bases. He's gone over that number in every game so far. Against Manning, I think he's going to be in a good spot. He'll probably have, 2 or 3 hits again tonight, maybe a home run. So he's just really been red hot, probably the hottest player in baseball right now. So I do like Yordan Alvarez a lot over more than 1.5 total bases. The other play I like is Luis Castillo, less than 41.5 pitcher fantasy score against the Angels. It's a tough lineup, and the Angels have done really well against Seattle. So I think that they won there last night. They did well against them last year. I think it's a pretty tough matchup for Castillo, and I don't think 41.5 this early in the year is going to be doable for him. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for the podcast today. Let me check the chat one more time before I get out of here. 3 favorite starting pitchers on Fanduel. Well, I gave you 2. The other one, let's see. I know the weather's going to be warm and the wind's blowing and all that stuff, but Yusei Kikuchi looked pretty good to me in spring training. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me, but I'm going to say Yusei Kikuchi is my other option for pitchers on the main slate. Scherzer. Yeah, the thing about it is, so the Brewers have been the last couple of years very reliant upon the home run, and they've been striking out a lot because of that. I don't see them being a heavy strikeout team this year. They've been a lot more disciplined. They have these young guys like Bryce Terang and Joey Weimer, Brian Anderson, Garrett Mitchell. Those guys have been really disciplined at the plate. So I don't see as many strikeouts as we've seen, in the past from them. So I think Scherzer is going to be a solid play tonight, but I don't think he's going to be one of my top plays. Like, I think he'll probably maybe have 5 or 6 strikeouts, but I don't think he's going to have double-digit strikeouts tonight. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it. Here in about 45 minutes, you'll have Deb breaking down tonight's 13 games in the NBA, 13 game slate, because there was no NBA last night with the national championship game. Shout out to UConn Huskies. Congratulations to them and all their fans. A very awesome tournament for them. They pretty much dominated every game. It was a very impressive run by the Huskies. So if you're a Huskies fan, congrats. And I'll probably see you guys on Thursday next time. I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow. Probably see you guys on Thursday with the next MLB podcast. So hope everybody has a great night. Let's keep the momentum up from last night. And I think the night before, too, we did pretty well. So let's just keep rolling here, crushing MLB. Hope everybody has a great night. And we'll be back on Thursday when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and Prizepicks. Thank you.